Hello again everybody, and welcome back to Startropics. As we continue making our way through the longest chapter yet, well, possibly the longest chapter period, today enter the longest dungeon yet, and I both love and hate that dungeon. We'll see though, we'll see. In any case, here's this creepy dude hanging out on the outside of a castle that is home to a society consisting only of women. We need to get inside, but they won't let us, unfortunately. But thankfully, I know just the way to find my way inside. Just walking around. I mean, honestly, I have to give credit to the creepy dude out there, because he told us. But this is not as simple as being a back entrance, nope. There's this fortune teller in here who somehow lives here. I don't quite know why or how, or I'm not gonna question it, but yeah. Now, the bad news is that in order for us to enter Ghostcola, we need to dress in drag. The only way for us to dress in drag is to ask the fortune teller to use magic. And to use that magic, we need a crystal ball. Yes. And hey, here's a puzzle. Now, assuming we knew the solution already, it wouldn't matter because the game won't let us actually progress until it tells us the solution of the puzzle ourselves. So yeah, no way skipping here. It's not a very complex puzzle anyway, you could figure it out accidentally, but yeah. Let's not dwell on that though. Let's be happy that we got a big heart. In any case, now that we have all that done, checked off our list, we need to head to the Ghost Village. The Ghost Village looks more like a straight up graveyard, honestly. I mean, there's some walls that could be home to someone, but it's just graves, really. Then again, maybe a grave is the house of a ghost? Here's the slightly different colored grave, by the way. It's the entrance. Now, as I mentioned, I both love and hate this dungeon, and we'll be seeing why. At first glance, it seems like a normal dungeon. Appropriately themed enemies and everything. These skeledogs here are really nice. I think they're just called bone dogs by the game, but they're there, you know, they do stuff. They walk around, frolicking here, just going about their business, having some fun. And then there's these skulls here just hopping around, all happy like. They're essentially just octots, but they take 2 hits. Basically, they're also as much dicks as those, but the terrain makes each deal with them. But yeah, our biggest adversary will be stairs. Because this room has no exit. We cannot leave it. Except the stairs. And the stairs lead us back outside. Now, I guess the thought process here is, oh, I'm on low health. I can just keep going to the exit room and get more health until I'm full health, and then I'm gonna be happy. But yeah, they could have just given you full health from the start. I mean, in our case, we did have full health because we got a refill, thanks to the big heart, but that's about it. And also, we just got hurt for no reason. No visible reason, at least. What could it be? Ghosts, perhaps? That would be laughable. Why would ghosts be in a, like, graveyard-themed dungeon with skeleton dogs, jumping skulls, and mummies? Ghosts are just crossing the line. In any case, those mummies can be dicks, but we can't see why here. Normally when they're standing on a green block, they are enemies not able to cross there, but the mummies can. And ooh, a new item called the Rod of Sight. Well, it would be silly if it revealed ghosts now, wouldn't it? Oh, there they are. Now, this is an item that is mandatory for progression. We don't need to kill these ghosts here, there's no real reason for us doing so. We could have just not done this, and I could have showed it off at a later point when we actually need to use it, but I just felt like doing it that way. Which also makes me fight these mummies again. So this is another of those rooms where we don't need to reveal the ghosts, but it would be smarter for me to do so at the start of the room, because they still damage us. But yeah, there's no real reason for us revealing them aside from, you know, avoiding damage. If you happen to be like a super god and already know where they are exactly and when they are there, you can just not use the rod of sight. Or if you're willing to take damage, of course. That's also a thing that might happen. Alright, let's go down the only path here and find yet another fucking flight of stairs. No exit here either. So let's rewind, but yeah. Now, as you might have guessed, there's something hidden in here. It's not too well hidden either. I just very intentionally ignored it. Just going through the room, just checking every block as you probably should at this point, you would have found this exit anyway. But you might have just tried and used the other one anyway, and the stairs. That's really... It's 3 dick moves in a row. Well, not exactly in a row, but you get my point, right? Too many dick moves. So let's rewind a bit further then, because there's another secret hidden in here. We need to kill all of these ghosts to find the path. However, it is not the path to progress, so what would you assume we do? I mean, yeah, the path to progress actually lies in the room with the stairs. Jumping on these blocks will do nothing. There's no hidden switch or something, no. To kill that thing, step back and realize, oh, there's a shadow at the wall, I can walk through there. The way it's set up though is that there's an enemy there, so you can't see there's a shadow there. At least it's very difficult to see. Then your head will be blocking the shadow, so yeah. Yeah. Just yeah. Anyway, that was the last evil stair room, so now we should be good to go, right? I mean, yeah, we are, but the dungeon is far from over. And yeah, we could have gotten the hearts in that other room, but that would have required me to cycle back around through the other room with the stairs, and that would have given me flashbacks, and I don't want that. Yay for darkness gimmicks again. I gave you my thought on these before, I don't know. Here they don't even give you like enemies that show you where you can go and where you can't go. You just need to pay attention when the room loads in before the light goes out. That's the only real way to know where you can go and where you can't go. Aside from that, it's just your regular old neighborhood room. The game is very, very nice to us though, for once. It'll give us a lantern. It does exactly what you think it does. Just using a dark room makes it go bright, and we can see everything. And that's great, right? Doesn't last for very long though, but you do get multiple uses, and you get enough uses to get through the dark part. So that's nice at least. But still, you'd think that, hey, the room's just lit up once you use it. And even if you know the path through here, you should probably get the lantern. I mean, I've seen a speedrun do this without the lantern at all, but you need to keep in mind that these blocks over there are sinking blocks, and when you are standing on them as they sink, or when they're down, you die because you can't swim. Just can't. These guys are called Mr. Armstrong. They are arms, and they can assume they're strong. They kinda suck though. I mean, I just did it very successfully here, but just jumping over their projectile and, you know, attacking them as was in the air. But still, they're not really fun to fight in any way, shape, or form. And you probably already saw it, but this room here is not the path to progress. There's no hidden power up here or anything. What we needed to do was just go up in this room. But yeah, you gotta know that beforehand. Plus, somebody like me who always just explores every nook and cranny of a level before moving on will just run into this room and be disappointed. You don't even get stuff like, I don't know, experience points or anything, and I'm glad for that, because not every game needs RPG mechanics. And here's a live showcase of mummies walking on these blocks. That can really get you, because normally you're safe on those. And it's in fact a very good way to deal with rooms with tough enemies, just stand on these blocks. And yeah, if I had known about that stopwatch earlier, I could have made this room much easier for me. Of course there's ghosts here. Why wouldn't there be? But just as you think that this gimmick gets stale, and you'd be right, at this point you just kind of got the point. But the game is, or this dungeon rather I should say, isn't quite done yet, and it has yet another trick up its sleeve, and we'll see that in just a few moments actually. The game's also nice enough to not make us kill those ghosts again. Alright. At this point we have more than enough uses of the Rod of Sight to carry us through the rest of the dungeon. But what you need to absolutely do in this room is find a little bit of a hidden item that is absolutely required for the next room. It's a magic mirror. You need to kill those whiz ropes here to reflect their projectiles back at them. The game does call them dim hacks, but they are reminiscent of whiz rope because they teleport and they shoot and they're dicks. And you need to be close enough to them when you use the mirror, because if you're too far away, they will teleport back away before the shot can reach them. But yeah, I kind of like this dungeon for just bringing in a bit more variety than the others at this point, because most of these sub-items that you found were just projectiles. You used them and they flew forward and they damaged something to a greater or lesser extent. Sometimes it had more range than your yo-yo, sometimes it's short range but it's very powerful, something, I don't know. Anyway, here we have the Rod of Sight, which makes us see ghosts. Despite it being kind of an old gimmick at this point, it's still quite a welcome change of pace when you first enter this dungeon. And then there's the whole mirror thing. Instead of just straight up throwing something at the enemy, you just put up a mirror and throw the projectile back at them. We also did get the bolas here, and we will need them in a second. Pretty much every item that you find here is required for progression. Though I guess the bola are kind of optional-ish. We'll see. Here's the ominous skull room. We've seen this room in the first dungeon actually. Only in the first dungeon it was a dead end. Here it is, the path we actually need to take. Which makes sense, because well, we're in a graveyard. Of course the skulls would lead our way. And just in case you don't have one anymore, here's another Rod of Sight. Because now you absolutely do need it. Because there's a ghost in this room, duh. A very huge ghost. This one's called Maxi. And while I think you can hit it with your yo-yo when it's on the sides, it's probably much easier to just use the bolas to hurt it when it's pretty much anywhere in the room, provided you can line up your shot right. The biggest danger in this fight is actually the cannons in the back. The ghosts themselves, you can just kill them, they're not that dangerous. And they just fly in a straight line anyway. But there we go, Maxi is dead. Well, was a ghost before, and I don't know. Anyway, we have triumphed, as the music tells us. And jumping onto this specific block 3 times drains the water from the pond on the outside. And you know, the fortune teller told us that he or she, I don't quite know, threw the crystal ball in the pond, dropped it there, or I don't know. I'm not sure I want to know the exact story of how that happened, because I might lose my faith in humanity, but yeah. There we go. This is the magical crystal ball we need to get women's clothes. I don't know. Could be easier. But that's it for today. Next time we'll actually go to Ghostcola. See you then.